What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs so far has had what is in this young NBA season. He's definitely the front runner, and I would say by a large margin already. Just 5 games into this season, he's the front runner for him for Rookie of the Year. He's just coming off a 38-point, 10 rebound performance against the Phoenix Suns. I think it's the second time in a week, I believe, that his Spurs have beaten KD's Suns. So Victor Wembanyama through 5 games is averaging 20.6 points per game to go along with 8 rebounds on 50% shooting from the floor. I think the last rookie to average 20 points a game for the year, I think it was Luka Doncic. Though someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it's Luka Doncic. And Victor's still figuring things out. So I suspect his numbers will get better as the season progresses. Incidentally, before I go forward in this video, this is yet another NBA player who is from overseas who is having almost instant, if not instant, success in the NBA. That doesn't bode well for the talent of American players in the NBA right now. I'm not talking about all of them, but there's something to be said about that. It goes to show you that athleticism is important, but fundamentals and skill are more important. One notable basketball analyst has stated that she believes that Victor Wembanyama has the highest ceiling for a player in modern history, even higher than LeBron Ramon James. I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Rachel Nichols delivered the highest remark yet for Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama in the aftermath of his 38-point, 10-rebound performance against the Suns on Friday. She tagged him as someone with an upside even higher than LeBron James himself. She says, let me see if I can find the actual audio before I read it. I don't see it right now, but she said, this guy has been a pro for years already. He's played and won championships already, and you can see it. Victor Wembanyama's ceiling is higher than David Robinson, Shaq, and LeBron's. He can render that LeBron MJ argument. It's hard to gauge how good Victor will be after a 5-game sample size, but the early signs are looking positive. While Wemby has experienced some growing pains, he seems to be adjusting quickly and is already one of the league's top on-ball defenders. Arguably, even more impressive is that the Spurs are 3-2 on the season after being one of the worst teams in the West for the past few years. Obviously, Wembanyama still has a long way to go before he can stack up against the all-time greats, but he's on the right trajectory in the first weeks of the season. I agree 100%. He's a rookie. It's going to take him a while to adjust to the NBA game, but I believe that I'd give it until February, February. You're going to start seeing more consistency from him, and I think that, barring injury, next year you're going to see a big jump in Victor Wembanyama's play. I think you're going to see a big jump in his play. I think he's going to be a superstar next year. Like I'm thinking next year he's going to be putting up 27 and 10. And not just your ordinary 27 and 10. I'm thinking it's going to be a dominating 27 and 10. Not to mention the defensive effect that he's going to have on games. I think Victor's going to be a guy that's going to be a stat stuffer like Elijah Wan, David Robertson, that variety. Like by that I mean I think he's going to be a shot blocker. I do think he's going to be a little bit of an underwhelming rebounder. I don't think he's going to be like a guy leading the league in rebounding, but I do think he's going to be a dude that's going to be averaging like 9.5, 10 rebounds. I do think he's going to be a perennial leader among shot blockers. I think he's going to, surprisingly, because of his nimbleness to be that size and his wingspan, I think he's going to be amongst the leaders in steals. You know, especially passing lane, deflection type steals. I think he's going to be in amongst the leaders in steals. He's going to be a presence. He's going to be I think one of the parts of his game that people are not going to focus on the most, because NBA fans today are so focused on offense, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to put back emphasis on defense and how you can, even if you're offensively horrible, if you're having a terrible offensive game, he's going to put back focus on a new generation of fans, at least I hope so, on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully. Because that's the type of basketball I grew up watching. Well, when I say grew up, I mean coming of age in the late 90s. I was already technically an adult, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that is the basketball that I fell in love with in the late 90s, early 2000s. I love defense. I love rebounding. I love hustle. I love the hardworking, in the trenches, garbage guys. You know what I'm saying? I could never really care for those guys who only wanted to shoot the basketball, didn't work hard, didn't play on the defensive side of the ball. I just always abhorred those guys. And I've always noticed that those players almost never won titles unless they lucked up and got on the championship team and ride the pine while everybody else is doing the work. But anyway, focusing more on what Rachel Nichols said, I mean, yeah, I do think this guy has the upside to be in that conversation. He has the potential. Now, whether he lives up to it, we'll have to wait and see. But he has that potential. With that type of size, with his skill set, and I think over time, as he refines his jump shot, get a little bit stronger. I would like to see that free throw percentage up a little bit more. I want to see it more in the 80s, like 80% at least. But I do think that he is going to be that hybrid type player that's going to be a revolutionary player. The likes of we've never seen before. And that's why he gets a lot of hate from a certain fan base, because they don't want to see anybody else get any shine. That's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.